In the stillness after the last bell, the tower library quiets to the pace of turning pages. Major light drifts between the shelves, casting long, gentle shadows. Tonight, we find rest in the world of the golem who stands watch at the village gate. Let the road fall behind you, sink into your pillow as the hearth settles to embers. Let your breath turn slow and quiet in the candle glow. Let every worry drift beyond the inn door. This is the drowsy dragon. Let us begin. The path to the village of Oakhaven winds through the silver-leafed maples, where the evening mist clings to the roots. Here, at the threshold of the valley, stands the Sentinel, a figure of weathered granite and forged iron, taller than any man. It does not move, yet its presence fills the clearing, a silent guardian against the encroaching gloom. The evening mist rolls across the valley floor, curling around the golem's massive stone feet. Each toe is a block of granite, carved with precision by masons whose names have long been forgotten. The dampness of the late hour makes the stone appear darker, almost like the skin of a sleeping giant, waiting for a dawn that is still many hours away. Upon the chest of the guardian, a series of faint blue runes pulse with a muted internal light. It is a velvet sapphire hue that casts long flickering shadows across the gravel path. This magic is storied and steady, like the deep breath of the earth itself, as it prepares for the coming rest. A small bird has built a nest in the crook of the golem's elbow, tucked safely behind a plate of rusted iron. The creature sleeps without fear, protected by the warmth of the alchemical core that hums deep within the Sentinel's frame. It is a tiny, feathered life, resting against a mountain of unmoving strength. The iron joints of the Sentinel are slick, with the moisture of the evening, reflecting the amber glow of the village lanterns in the distance. Each bolt and hinge was forged in the fires of the mountain smithies, tempered with oils that never dry. There is a scent of ozone and wet mineral that hangs about the guardian, a perfume of protection. Looking upward, the face of the golem is a mask of expressionless stone, with a chin squared against the wind. Its eyes are two polished spheres of obsidian that catch the light of the rising moon through the clouds. They do not watch any one thing, but rather they observe everything with a patience that spans across centuries. In the village, the shopkeepers are drawing their shutters, and the tavern fire sends a plume of grey smoke into the sky. The villagers do not look toward the gate, for they know the Sentinel is there as it has been for 7 generations. Its shadow is a comfort, a familiar shape in the landscape that signifies safety and home. An old vine of ivy has climbed the length of the golem's left leg, its dark green leaves shimmering with droplets of rain. The plant has found purchase in the small cracks of the stone, weaving a natural tapestry over the artificial form. It is a marriage of the living wood and the crafted rock, merging the Sentinel into the forest itself. The atmosphere grows cooler as the twilight deepens into a royal purple, and the stars begin to pierce the veil of clouds. The hum of the runes shifts in tone, a lower resonance that vibrates in the soles of your feet as you stand near the gate. It is the cadence of a machine that knows no fatigue and requires no sleep. Beside the gatehouse, a wooden sign creaks on its hinges, swaying slightly in the evening breeze. The lettering is faded, but the message is clear, welcoming travelers to a place of peace and quietude. The Sentinel stands just behind it, a literal wall of defense that has never had to strike a single blow. A lantern hangs from a hook on the gatehouse wall, its flame dancing behind panels of horn. The golden light spills across the golem's hand, which rests upon a stone plinth, fingers as thick as tree branches. The texture of the granite is rough, pitted by years of winter storms and summer heat, yet it remains unbroken. In the distance, the mountains are silhouettes against the fading light, their peaks capped with a dusting of silver snow. The valley feels enclosed and protected like a cradle held in the arms of the hills. The Sentinel is the lock upon that cradle, a weighted presence that ensures the night remains undisturbed. The resonance of the village is a collection of small noises, the clatter of a bucket, the bark of a dog, and the distant chime of a clock. These sounds drift past the golem, like leaves on a river, leaving no mark on its stony exterior. It is a vessel of silence, absorbing the activity of the realm and offering stillness in return. Beneath the archway of the gate, the ground is dry, shielded by the immense span of the stone lintel. Here the dust of the day has alighted, undisturbed by the dampness that coats the rest of the world. It is a small sanctuary of dryness, where a traveler might pause to catch their breath before entering the village. The golem's shoulder is broad enough to hold a man, and it is covered in a thin layer of velvet moss. This greenery thrives in the mist, drinking the moisture and the faint mage light from the runes. It gives the guardian a soft organic edge, blurring the line between the construct and the wild. Within the Sentinel, the alchemical fluids move with a slow, measured pulse through tubes of copper and glass. This is the blood of the machine, a glowing golden liquid that carries the intent of the creators to every limb. It is a steady circulation that generates a faint, comforting warmth, felt only by those who stand very close. A moth with wings, the color of birch bark, flutters around the glowing runes on the golem's neck. It is drawn to the magical light, dancing in the sapphire radiance before landing on the cool stone. The Sentinel does not move to brush it away, allowing the tiny insect to rest on its weathered surface. The gate itself is made of oak, reinforced with bands of black iron, and it stands wide open for now. There is no need to close it while the Guardian is awake, and the Guardian is always awake. It is a door that never needs to be barred, for the Sentinel is the bar and the bolt and the wall. As the evening hours progress, the village lights begin to dim one by one as the families retire to their beds. The glow in the tavern windows fades to a soft ember red, and the streets grow quiet. Only the Sentinel remains, its obsidian eyes reflecting the vast tapestry of stars that now fills the sky. The chill of the late evening settles over the valley, but the warmth from the Golem's core persists, a small hearth in the middle of the mist. We stand here for a moment, watching the blue light of the runes pulse in time with our own breath. The journey into the heart of the village is just beginning, and the peace of the Guardian follows us as we move toward the flickering hearth light of the inn. The door of the sleeping Griffin swings open on hinges of polished brass, and the scent of cedar wood greets us. It is a fragrance of home and safety, mingling with the savory aroma of a slow simmering root vegetable stew. The warmth of the common room wraps around us like a wool blanket, chasing away the dampness of the evening mist. This interior is a sanctuary of timber and light, where the troubles of the road are forgotten in the presence of the hearth. In the corner, a fireplace built from river stones holds a fire that has burned down to a steady orange glow. The logs of seasoned ash hiss occasionally, releasing a small puff of white smoke into the chimney. There is no one left in the room, save for the flickering shadows that dance upon the timbered walls. The masonry is warm to the touch, radiating a gentle heat that permeates the very bones of the building. A single tallow candle sits upon a table of scarred oak, its flame steady and bright. Beside it, a half-eaten loaf of crusty bread remains a testament to a meal enjoyed in peace. The crumbs are scattered like tiny golden islands across the dim grain of the wood. The table itself tells a story of decades of travelers, each notch and stain a memory of a night spent in comfort. Stretched out upon a rug of woven wool, the innkeeper's cat, a ginger tabby, sleeps with its paws tucked neatly under its chin. Its chest rises and falls in a slow, rhythmic measure, unaffected by our presence. The animal is a picture of absolute trust, knowing the Sentinel stands watch at the gate. The fibers of the rug are thick and soft, muffling the noise of our footsteps as we move through the room. From the rafters, bundles of dried lavender and rosemary hang by lengths of twine. They sway almost imperceptibly in the gentle draught created by the heat of the hearth. Their perfume is light and herbal, cleansing the atmosphere and inviting a sense of calm. The beams of the ceiling are wide and dark, hewn from trees that stood long before the village was even a thought. We move toward the kitchen, where the copper pots and pans catch the fading light of the embers. They are scrubbed, clean, and hang in orderly rows, reflecting the village's dedication to craft and care. The floor of flagstone is cool beneath our feet, a contrast to the heat of the main hall. A bowl of fresh mountain berries sits on the counter, their skins glistening like tiny polished garnets. A door leads down into the cellar, where the temperature drops to a pleasant chill. Here the barrels of ale and cider are stacked in the shadow, their wooden staves bound by hoops of iron. The smell of fermented fruit and damp earth is rich and grounded in this subterranean space. The silence here is absolute, a deep quiet that feels as though it has existed for centuries. Returning to the common room, we find the staircase carved from a single massive trunk of pine. The wood is smooth, polished by the hands of 1,000 travelers who have sought rest within these walls. Each step gives a soft, reassuring creak as we ascend toward the upper floor. The banister is cool and solid, providing a steady guide through the amber half-light of the hallway. It is lined with small brass sconces holding candles that have burned nearly to the base. The light is golden and soft, casting long, peaceful reflections upon the floorboards. It is a quiet passage leading away from the world and into the realm of dreams. The wallpaper is a faded floral pattern of pale blue lilies that seem to shimmer in the flickering glow. We enter a guest room where the bed is piled high, with quilts of patchwork and down. The pillows are plump and white, inviting us to sink into their softness and forget the weariness of the road. A small ceramic basin of lavender water sits upon the washstand, ready for the morning. The air in the room is still and fresh, carrying the faint scent of sun-dried linen. The window of the room is made of small leaded panes that distort the view of the village outside. We can see the distant sapphire pulse of the Golem's runes, a steady heartbeat in the murk. It is a comforting sight, a beacon of protection that never flickers. The glass is cold to the touch, a thin barrier between the warmth of the room and the chill of the evening. Looking down, we see the village, square, where a fountain of grey stone trickles into a shallow pool. The water is clear and dark, reflecting the silver crescent of the moon above. The noise of the falling water is a delicate, tinkling melody that fills the empty plaza. The stones of the fountain are mossy and old, worn by the constant flow of the mountain spring. Nearby, the blacksmith's forge is silent, though the smell of coal and iron still hangs in the atmosphere. The anvil sits like a silent altar in the middle of the workshop, its face gleaming in the moonlight. The tools are all in their places, waiting for the first light of dawn. The embers in the forge are hidden beneath a layer of grey ash, glowing like a buried star. The herbalist's shop has a window filled with jars of dried flower petals and ground roots. Each bottle is labelled in a neat, flowing script containing the secrets of healing and sleep. A bundle of mugwort is tied to the doorframe, a charm to ensure pleasant visions. The shop is a place of quiet magic, where the gifts of the earth are used to mend the spirit. In the weaver's cottage, the loom stands with a half-finished tapestry of deep forest green. The threads of silk and wool are tangled together in a beautiful complex pattern that tells a story of the woods. The room smells of lanolin and dye, a rich, earthy scent. The shuttle rests on the warp as if the weaver has only just stepped away for a moment. At the center of the square, the village well is covered by a roof of cedar shingles. The rope is coiled neatly around the wooden windlass, and the bucket rests on the stone rim. It is a place of gathering, now empty and still, in the late evening. The water deep below is a mirror for the stars, a cold and silent depth that sustains the life of the village. A narrow alleyway winds between two houses of timber and plaster, lit by a single lantern. The light is golden and warm, illuminating the cobblestones which are worn smooth by generations of footsteps. The shadows here are soft and deep, hiding nothing but peace. A small wooden bench sits against a wall, inviting a moment of reflection in the silence. The stable is filled with the scent of sweet hay and the low breathing of the horses. They are large, gentle beasts, their coats shining in the dimness as they rest their heads on the wooden stalls. The sound of a horse shifting its weight in the straw is a comforting rustic noise. The harness and tack hang on the walls, the leather oiled and supple, ready for the morning's journey. From this high vantage, the roofs of the village look like the scales of a sleeping dragon. They are covered in a thin layer of frost that sparkles under the stars like diamond dust. The chimneys have stopped smoking as the fires within the houses have all been banked for the evening. The village is a cradle of rest, held in the protective embrace of the valley and the Golem. The silence of the village is not an empty thing, but a vessel waiting to be filled by the dreams of those who sleep under the Guardian's watchful eye. Every door is closed, and every heart is at rest as the great stone sentinel continues its vigil. The cadence of the village has slowed to a whisper as we prepare to explore the secrets of the surrounding forest, where the shadows hold a different kind of peace. Step now onto the path of crushed violet slate, which leads away from the village and into the forest's edge. The trees here are tall and slender, their bark a pale silver that catches the light of the stars. The stillness is deeper among the leaves, carrying the scent of damp earth and the sharp, clean fragrance of pine. Every footstep is cushioned by a carpet of fallen needles, making your passage as silent as a shadow. A small stone bridge arches over a meandering brook, its masonry fused with the gnarled roots of a willow. The water below flows, with a soft liquid chuckle, tumbling over pebbles that have been polished by 1,000 years of passage. In the dimness, the face of it catches the pale glow of the moon, shimmering like a ribbon of liquid mercury. The murmur of the stream is a constant, soothing presence, a lullaby for the woods. Beside the bridge, a cluster of moss-covered stones marks a forgotten boundary from an age-old era. Small wooden charms and bundles of dried lavender have been placed there by travelers seeking a safe journey. The moss is thick and emerald green, feeling like velvet under the touch of the cool evening. It is a place of quiet offerings, where the memory of the past is held in the embrace of the moss. A few fireflies drift through the undergrowth, their tiny golden lights pulsing like miniature stars in the murk. They move in a slow, graceful measure, illuminating the delicate fronds of the ferns that grow along the path. The light they cast is soft and flickering, a magical dance that celebrates the peace of the forest. Each pulse is a reminder of the hidden life that thrives in the quiet hours. Further along the trail, the ruins of a watchtower stand as a silent witness to a time of kings and queens. The stone walls are draped in ivy and flowering vines which have claimed the structure for the forest. A single window high above looks out over the trees like a blind eye watching the stars. The tower is no longer a place of war, but a sanctuary for the birds and the wind. From this shaded vantage, the Golem appears as a mountain of stone rising above the village rooftops. Its broad shoulders are covered in a layer of lichen and small, hardy flowers that have found a home in the crevices of its form. The Sentinel is a bridge between the craft of man and the strength of the earth, a living monument of peace. It stands unmoving, its stone heart beating with the slow pulse of the land. A hidden glade opens before you, filled with a sea of white moonflowers that bloom only after dark. Their petals are wide and luminous, reflecting the celestial light and filling the atmosphere with a sweet, heady perfume. The center of the glade is a pool of still water which holds the reflection of the entire cosmos in its depths. It is a sacred space untouched by the bustle of the village, a place for the soul to rest. The hiss of the wind through the high branches of the oaks is like the sigh of a sleeping giant. The leaves rustle softly, whispering stories of the seasons that have passed and those yet to come. The trees are the elders of this place, their roots reaching deep into the secrets of the soil. They stand in a quiet circle, guarding the glade and the dreams that are born within it. A time-worn boundary stone carved with runes of protection stands at the edge of the glade. The markings glow with a faint blue mage light, a signal that the magic of the Golem extends even to these distant woods. The runes are smooth to the touch, their edges softened by the passage of countless winters. This is the limit of the village's reach, where the domestic meets the wild in a gentle handshake. The scent of resin and damp bark is more pronounced here as the forest thickens and the shadows deepen. The ground is a mosaic of roots and stones, requiring a careful and deliberate pace as you walk. The chill is refreshing, a cool balm against the lingering warmth of the day's labor. Every breath is a draught of pure mountain air, cleaning the mind and easing the body. A great horned owl sits on a branch of a storied cedar, its golden eyes wide and reflective. It does not fly away, but watches with a calm and steady gaze, as if acknowledging your presence in its domain. The bird is a phantom of the evening, a silent hunter that keeps its own vigil over the forest floor. Its feathers are the color of bark and shadow, making it nearly invisible in the half-light. Deep within the golem's chest, a core of enchanted crystal hums, with a low, resonant frequency. This mage light is the source of its life, a gift from the mages who built it centuries ago. The vibration can be felt in the very ground, a subtle tremor that reassures the village of its safety. It is the heartbeat of the guardian, a constant and faithful measure of time. The transition from the village to the deep woods is a journey into a different kind of silence. In the village, the silence is one of rest and slumber, but here it is a silence of life and growth. The forest is never truly still, but its movements are so slow and graceful that they feel like a form of meditation. We are guests in this green cathedral, moving with reverence through its hallowed halls. Dew has begun to form on the broad leaves of the ferns, sparkling like tiny pearls in the starlight. The moisture makes the forest floor glisten, adding a layer of magic to the already ethereal landscape. A small frog leaps into the stream, creating a series of perfect concentric circles that spread across the water. Each ripple is a testament to the interconnectedness of all things in this peaceful realm. A stone altar, weathered by the elements, sits in a small clearing with a single glass lantern resting on its top. The flame inside is steady and bright, a beacon of hope and a tribute to the spirits of the woods. It is a simple monument built by the villagers to honor the land that provides for them. The light from the lantern casts long dancing shadows that play across the trunks of the nearby trees. The path now begins to climb, slightly leading toward a rocky outcrop that offers a view of the valley below. The stones underfoot are firm and steady, providing a secure footing as you ascend. The surroundings open up, revealing the sprawling expanse of the forest, stretching out like a dark green sea. From here, the village is a cluster of golden sparks nestled in the cradle of the mountains. A discarded iron lantern, half buried in a bed of wild clover, tells a story of a traveler who once passed this way. The metal is rusted, and the glass is gone, but it remains a part of the landscape now. It has been reclaimed by the earth, a reminder that all things eventually return to the source. The clover is soft and fragrant, a green cushion for the forgotten relic. The golem's feet are rooted deep into the soil, surrounded by a ring of vibrant blue wildflowers. These blossoms are said to be nourished by the magic that leaks from the Sentinel's stone form. They bloom all year round, a constant splash of color against the gray of the rock. The flowers sway gently in the breeze, a delicate contrast to the massive strength of the guardian. A spider web stretched between two low branches catches the magelight from the village, glowing like a net of silver thread. The dew clings to the silk, creating a complex and beautiful pattern that is a work of art in its own right. The spider is nowhere to be seen leaving the web to shimmer in the quiet hours. It is a fragile and exquisite thing, a reminder of the beauty that can be found in the smallest details. In the distance, a mountain peak rises toward the stars, its summit covered in a permanent cap of snow. The white peak glows with a celestial radiance, standing as a silent sentinel over the entire region. It is a place of cold and majesty, a realm far above the concerns of the world below. As we look toward the heights, we feel a sense of profound peace, knowing that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. The path now turns back toward the village, leading us through a tunnel of arching hazel trees that feel like a protective embrace. The leaves overhead create a canopy of shadow, through which the starlight filters in thin, shimmering beams. The walk back is easy and meditative as we carry the peace of the forest with us toward the warmth of the hearth. Soon we will find ourselves back at the village gate, where the golem's shadow falls across the path like a promise of safety as we move toward the quiet of the library. The heavy oaken doors of the village library swing open with a slow and rhythmic creak that echoes through the silent hallway. The atmosphere inside is cool and holds the faint scent of dried lavender and old parchment that has rested here for generations. The stone floor is smooth underfoot, polished by the many feet that have sought knowledge within these walls. Every step is muffled by the stillness, as if the building itself is holding its breath to preserve the peace of the evening. Rows of tall cedar shelves stretch upward toward the vaulted ceiling where shadows dance in the flickering light of floating candles. Each leather spine is a repository of memories containing the history of the village and the secrets of the land that surrounds it. The books are arranged with care, their gold lettering glinting like tiny stars in the dimness. You feel a sense of reverence in this place, a quiet sanctuary where the passage of time feels slower and more deliberate. In the center of the room, a large wooden table stands laden with open maps and half-finished scrolls that tell of the Golem's long watch. The ink is dark and rich, forming elegant curves and lines that trace the movements of the stars and the cycles of the seasons. A single brass lamp provides a warm golden glow, illuminating the intricate details of the drawings. It is a place of study and reflection, where the wisdom of the past is preserved for the future. As you move deeper into the stacks, the smell of beeswax and cedar becomes more pronounced, a comforting and familiar fragrance. The shelves are packed with volumes of all sizes, from small pocket-bound journals to massive iron-clasped tomes that require 2 hands to lift. You run your fingers along the spines, feeling the texture of the leather and the grain of the wood. Each book is a testament to the dedication of the scholars who have called this village home. A small reading nook is tucked away in a corner with a plush velvet chair that looks inviting and soft. A woven rug in shades of deep blue and forest green covers the floor, providing a warm and cozy spot to rest. The light from a nearby window filters in, casting a silvery glow over the scene as the moon rises higher in the sky. It is a perfect place to lose oneself in a story while the rest of the village sleeps. The history of the Sentinel is kept in a special section where the scrolls are tied with ribbons of crimson silk. These documents detail the creation of the Golem, from the first stone carved to the final spell cast to give it life. The writing is old and faded, but the power of the words still remains a reminder of the magic that protects this place. You handle the scrolls with care, feeling the weight of the responsibility they represent. A spiral staircase made of dark oak leads to the upper gallery where the most storied volumes are kept. The wood is smooth and cool to the touch, and the stairs groan slightly as you ascend toward the shadows above. From the gallery you can look down at the main hall, seeing the patterns of the light and the symmetry of the shelves. The view is breathtaking, a sea of knowledge that stretches out in all directions. High above, a glass dome allows the starlight to pour into the library, creating a celestial map on the floor below. The constellations shift and move as the hours pass, a silent clock that marks the progress of the quiet hours. The atmosphere is thin and clear, and you feel a sense of connection to the cosmos as you gaze upward. It is a place where the earthly and the divine meet in a harmonious and peaceful embrace. A clockwork model of the village sits on a pedestal, its tiny gears turning with a soft and steady click. The little golem figure stands at the gate, its stone arms crossed, as it keeps its eternal watch. The model is a work of incredible craftsmanship, with every house and tree rendered in exquisite detail. It is a reminder of the pride that the villagers take in their home and the protection they enjoy. In a quiet corner, a night scribe is at work, their quill scratching softly against the parchment as they record the events of the day. The scribe is a figure of patience and focus, their movements slow and measured as they weave the story of the village. The lantern on their desk casts a long shadow that stretches across the floor, a silent companion in the dimness. They do not look up as you pass, lost in the flow of the ink and the rhythm of the words. The air in the lower archives is cool and damp, with the scent of earth and stone rising from the foundations. Here the oldest records are kept stored in chests of iron and oak to protect them from the passage of time. The walls are lined with maps of the surrounding mountains and valleys, showing the paths that have been traveled and the places that remain unknown. It is a place of mystery and discovery, where the secrets of the realm are hidden away. A stained glass window depicts the first dawn with vibrant colors that glow with an inner light. The scene is one of hope and renewal as the sun rises over the peaks and the village awakens to a new day. The light from the window falls across the floor in a kaleidoscope of hues, creating a beautiful and ethereal pattern. It is a reminder that even in the deepest shadow, there is always the promise of the light. You find a small box containing a collection of dried herbs, each labeled with a neat and precise hand. The scent of sage and rosemary fills the atmosphere, a refreshing and cleansing fragrance that clears the mind. These herbs are used by the village healers to treat the sick and the injured, a testament to the knowledge of the natural world. The box is a simple thing, but it represents the care and compassion that the villagers have for one another. A large tapestry hangs on the far wall, showing the Golem standing against a backdrop of a raging storm. The Sentinel is a figure of strength and endurance, its stone form unyielding against the power of the elements. The threads are worn and faded, but the image is still clear, a symbol of the protection that the village has always known. You stand before the tapestry, feeling a sense of gratitude for the guardian who keeps the watch. The sound of a distant bell tolls the hour, a low and resonant note that vibrates through the stone walls. The noise is a gentle reminder that the evening is moving toward its end, and the time for rest is approaching. You feel a sense of peace and contentment as you prepare to leave the library and return to the warmth of the village. The knowledge you have gained is a gift that you will carry with you. A sleeping cat is curled up on a pile of cushions, its breathing slow and steady as it dreams of the hunt. The feline is a silent guardian of the library, keeping the mice away from the precious scrolls. Its fur is soft and warm, and it stirs slightly as you pass, but does not awaken. It is a scene of pure and simple comfort, a reminder of the quiet joys of life. The library feels like a living thing, a repository of the soul of the village and the spirits of the ancestors. You can almost hear the whispers of the past in the rustle of the pages and the creak of the wood. It is a place of connection and continuity, where the stories of the old are joined with the stories of the new. As you move toward the exit, you feel a sense of belonging in this place of wisdom. The heavy doors close behind you, with a soft thud, leaving the library to its quiet and its shadows. The village outside is still and peaceful, with the mage light from the lanterns casting a warm and welcoming glow. You take a deep breath of the cool evening atmosphere, feeling refreshed and renewed by your time in the archives. The golem still stands at the gate, its shadow a constant and comforting presence. You walk toward the village square, where the fountain splashes softly in the dimness. The water is clear and cold, reflecting the light of the stars and the moon in its shimmering face. It is a place of gathering and community, where the villagers come to share their stories and their lives. The peace of the evening is all around you, a gentle and protective embrace. As we leave the quiet wisdom of the scrolls behind, the distant ring of a hammer on an anvil calls us toward the flickering orange glow of the village forge. The heat from the forge reaches out to touch your skin, a dry and comforting embrace that speaks of fire and craft. The orange light dances upon the cobblestones, casting long and flickering shadows that stretch toward the center of the square. You follow the glow drawn by the steady pulse of the hammer as it meets the heated metal in a measured beat. Inside the workshop is a place of industry and peace, where the raw materials of the earth are transformed into tools of utility and beauty. The blacksmith is a master of his craft, his movements sure and deliberate as he shapes the glowing iron with a strength that is both quiet and profound. The scent of coal, smoke, and hot steel fills the interior, a rich and evocative aroma that carries the weighted history of generations of labor. Tools of every shape and size hang from the walls, their edges polished and sharp, reflecting the firelight in 1,000 tiny glints. A rack of horseshoes waits in the corner, ready to be fitted to the hooves of the village ponies. The anvil stands in the center of the room, a massive and unyielding block of iron that has witnessed the creation of countless objects. It is a place of strength and endurance, where the fire is a source of life and creation, burning brightly against the dimness. You watch as the smith plunges a red-hot blade into a barrel of water, the hiss of steam, a sharp and sudden noise in the quiet of the evening. The vapor rises in a white cloud swirling toward the rafters where it disappears into the shadows. The metal cools quickly, its color fading from a bright orange to a dull gray as it takes its final form. It is a process of transformation and refinement, a testament to the power of the spirit and the beauty of the natural elements. The forge is a heart of the village, a place where the heat of the fire warms the very soul. As the smith finishes his work, for the evening he wipes his brow with a leather apron and offers you a tired but friendly smile. The fire in the hearth is lowering its embers, glowing like a bed of jewels in the half-light. The workshop falls into a comfortable silence, the only noise. The occasional crackle of the cooling coals. You feel a sense of respect for the craft and the craftsman who, like the Golem, serves the village with dedication and skill. The warmth of the forge persists in your bones, a comforting memory of the fire's embrace. Leaving the workshop, you find yourself in a narrow lane where the houses are built close together, their thatched roofs overlapping like the scales of a dragon. The windows are small and glowing with the light of candles and hearths, creating a patchwork of comfort in the evening chill. A weaver's cottage stands at the end of the lane, its door slightly ajar, revealing the rhythmic motion of a loom. The weaver is a woman of many years, her hands moving with a grace and agility that belies her age. She is weaving a tapestry of the village history, the threads of the past and the present intertwined in a beautiful and complex pattern. The colors of the yarn are rich and vibrant, dyed with the juices of berries and the extracts of roots. Deep blues of the evening sky, golden yellows of the harvest, moon, and the earthy browns of the forest floor all come together in the weaver's hands. The loom creaks softly with every pass of the shuttle, a gentle and repetitive murmur that is both soothing and hypnotic. You stand in the doorway, watching the pattern emerge, a story told in thread and color. It is a work of patience and love, a gift to the future generations that will one day call this place home. The weaver pauses to adjust a thread, her eyes bright with the joy of creation. She looks up and sees you, nodding a silent greeting before returning to her work with a focused intensity. The room is filled with the scent of wool and dried herbs, a clean and comforting fragrance that speaks of home and hearth. Baskets of yarn are stacked against the walls, their contents a riot of color and texture, waiting to be woven into the story. It is a place of quiet industry where the passage of time is measured by the growth of the tapestry. You feel a sense of peace in the weaver's presence, a connection to the long line of artisans. As you move away from the cottage, the lane opens up into a small square where a shrine to the ancestors stands in the dimness. The monument is simple, a stone pillar carved with the names of those who have gone before, their memories kept alive by the living. Small candles burn at the base of the pillar, their flames flickering in the gentle breeze like tiny stars fallen to the earth. Flowers and stones are left as offerings, tokens of remembrance and respect for the spirits of the past. The shrine is a place of reflection and gratitude, a reminder of the continuity of life and the enduring power of love. The atmosphere here is still and sacred, the only noise. The soft rustle of the leaves in the nearby trees. You stand before the pillar, feeling a sense of connection to the history of this place and the people who have called it home. The names on the stone are familiar, the ancestors of the villagers you have met, their stories woven into the fabric of the community. It is a place of peace and quiet where the burdens of the day can be laid down and the soul can find rest. The mage light from the lanterns casts a soft and ethereal glow on the shrine, making it feel like a bridge between the worlds. You walk toward the village gate, where the golem stands, its massive form a silhouette against the starlit sky. The Sentinel is a constant presence, a silent guardian who keeps the watch through the quiet hours. You can see the intricate runes carved into its stone, legs glowing with a faint blue light that pulses with the beat of the earth. The moss and lichen that grow on its exterior are a testament to its age and its endurance, a living skin that covers the unyielding stone. It is a figure of strength and protection, a symbol of the safety and security of the village. A small lantern hangs from the golem's knee, its light casting a warm and welcoming glow on the path below. It is a simple gesture of care and compassion, a reminder that the Guardian is not just a machine, but a part of the community. You sit on a wooden bench near the gate, feeling the cool evening breeze on your face and the warmth of the mage light on your skin. The village is quiet and still, the only noise the distant hoot of an owl and the soft rustle of the grass. It is a moment of pure and simple peace, a time for reflection and rest. The stars above are bright and clear, their light reflecting in the still waters of the village fountain. You look up at the constellations, their patterns familiar and comforting, a map of the heavens that has guided travelers for many centuries. The moon is a silver crescent hanging low in the sky, its light casting a soft and ethereal glow on the landscape. It is a night of beauty and wonder, a reminder of the immense scale of the universe and the smallness of our own lives. You feel a sense of awe and gratitude for the place around you. The golem stirs slightly, its stone joints creaking with a low and resonant note that vibrates through the ground. It is a gentle reminder of its presence, a sign that the Guardian is always awake and always watchful. You feel a sense of security in the golem's shadow, knowing that you are safe and protected in this place. The evening is moving toward its end, and the time for sleep is approaching a natural and welcome conclusion to the day. You close your eyes for a moment, listening to the cadence of the village and the pulse of the earth. The ambient cold is crisp, carrying the scent of pine, needles, and damp earth, a refreshing and invigorating fragrance. You take a deep breath, feeling the stillness of the quiet hours seep into your bones. The village is a place of comfort and belonging, where the stories of the past are joined with the dreams of the future. You are a part of this story, a witness to the beauty and the magic of this realm. The peace of the evening is a gift that you will carry with you into your dreams. As the first hints of dawn move toward the horizon, the village remains in its quiet slumber. The golem still stands at the gate, its shadow long and protective over the sleeping houses. You feel a sense of readiness for the rest that awaits you, a deep and peaceful sleep that will restore your strength and your spirit. The journey through the village has been a path of discovery and connection, a reminder of the simple joys of life. You are home, and you are safe. The flickering light of the last candles in the windows turns to a faint glimmer as the village prepares for the new day. But for now, the quiet holds and the shadows are long and comforting. You lean back against the stone wall of the gatehouse, feeling the solid and unyielding strength of the rock behind you. The Guardian's presence is a warm and steady influence, a companion in the silence of the early morning. Every breath you take is slow and measured, matching the peaceful pulse of the sleeping landscape. The distant murmur of the river provides a soothing backdrop to the silence, its water flowing over the stones with a gentle and persistent noise. It is a sound that has existed long before the village was built and will continue long after it is gone. A sense of timelessness washes over you, a feeling of being a small part of a much larger and more enduring story. The golem, with its age-old stone and its glowing runes, is a part of this timelessness, a bridge between the fleeting moments of human life and the enduring strength of the earth. You watch as a single leaf drifts down from a nearby tree, its motions slow and graceful as it falls toward the ground. It lands softly on the mossy base of the golem, a tiny and delicate offering from the natural world. The Guardian does not move, but you feel a sense of acknowledgement in the way the runes glow slightly brighter for a moment. It is a quiet and beautiful interaction, a reminder of the connection between all things. The peace of the village is complete and total. The stars are beginning to pale as the light of the morning slowly increases, but the shadows still hold their ground in the corners of the lanes. You feel a sense of contentment and gratitude for the quiet moments of the evening, and the beauty of the region around you. The golem stands tall and proud, its watch unending, its protection absolute. You are ready to move toward the next stage of your journey, feeling refreshed and renewed by your time in the village. The world is waking, but you carry the stillness within you. As the light of the morning begins to touch the highest peaks of the mountains, we turn our gaze toward the winding path that leads to the storied grove where the spirits of the forest dwell. The path ahead of you is soft and yielding under your boots as you step into the embrace of the woods. It is a carpet of emerald moss and fallen needles from the great pines that tower above like silent sentinels. Every step you take feels cushioned and quiet, as if the forest itself is welcoming you into its heart. The transition from the stone of the village gate to the damp earth of the grove is a gentle and natural shift. You feel the ground beneath you, supporting your weight with a tender and resilient strength. The scent of damp earth and crushed mint rises from the ground, filling your senses with a cool and refreshing fragrance. It is the smell of life and growth, a sharp contrast to the dry stone and hearth smoke you left behind. You feel the tension in your shoulders ease away as the fragrance of the woods envelops you in a fragrant embrace. The atmosphere is rich and saturated with the perfume of pine and elderberry, a scent that is both invigorating and calming. Above, the canopy is a thick and tangled web of branches and leaves that filters the moonlight into 1,000 shimmering shards. These fragments of light dance across the forest floor, illuminating the delicate shapes of the ferns and the mossy roots. The greens are deep and vibrant even in the low light of the evening, a sea of emerald and jade. You watch the way the light moves and shifts as the leaves rustle in the breeze, a quiet and hypnotic display. You notice a cluster of silver ferns nearby, their fronds glowing with a faint and ethereal bioluminescence. They pulse with a gentle and steady light, a natural beacon in the dimness of the woods, guiding your way. Their radiance is soft and cool, casting long and delicate shadows against the trunks of the nearby trees. It is a magical and serene sight, a reminder of the hidden wonders that exist within the heart of the grove. The atmosphere is thick with the humidity of the forest, a weighted and comforting presence against your skin. It feels like a warm blanket wrapping around you, protecting you from the chill of the open fields and the mountain winds. You take a slow and deep breath, tasting the sweetness of the forest on your tongue, a flavor of rain and wood. The moisture in the atmosphere is a soothing influence, keeping the world around you lush and green. A low and melodic murmur drifts through the trees, the noise of the wind, rustling the leaves high above. It is a soothing and repetitive note, a lullaby sung by the forest to its inhabitants and to you. You find yourself matching your pace to this natural measure, your movements becoming slow and deliberate and peaceful. The murmur is a constant companion, a steady and reassuring presence in the silence of the evening. To your right, a massive oak stands, its bark thick and furrowed with time and the passage of seasons. The tree is a monument to the enduring strength of nature, its roots digging deep into the fertile and dark soil. You reach out to touch the rough exterior, feeling the solid and unyielding strength of the wood beneath your palm. It is a connection to the past, a link to the long and storied history of the grove. The forest spirits are here, though they remain mostly hidden from your direct gaze. You catch a glimpse of a tiny flickering light out of the corner of your eye, a wisp of mage light darting between the branches. It is gone in an instant, leaving only a trail of silver dust in its wake, a fading and beautiful memory. Their presence is a warm and benevolent influence, a sign that you are welcome in this sacred place. In the hollow of a fallen log, a patch of crystalline mushrooms has taken root and flourished. They are transparent and delicate like blown glass, and they catch the light of the ferns in a dazzling and colorful display. Each cap is a tiny mirror reflecting the beauty of the grove in miniature, a world within a world. You lean closer to admire their intricate details, marveling at the craftsmanship of the natural landscape. The stillness of the place is profound, a quiet that is both deep and expectant and full of peace. It is not a void of noise, but a tapestry of small and meaningful sounds that tell the story of the woods. The snap of a twig, the rustle of a small creature in the undergrowth, the distant hoot of an owl, all blend together. You listen with your whole being, letting the quiet wash over you like a cool and refreshing wave. You come to a small brook that winds its way through the center of the grove, a silver thread in the shadows. The water is clear and cold, bubbling over smooth grey stones, with a cheerful and persistent clatter that fills the atmosphere. It is a thin and silver ribbon of light cutting through the emerald and brown of the forest floor. You watch as the water flows and swirls, a constant and ever-changing display of motion and light. You pause at the edge of the water, watching as the moon is reflected in the ripples and the pools. The image is broken and distorted, but still beautiful, a shimmering and silver disk dancing on the face of the brook. The water carries the light away, down, toward the heart of the woods, a message from the sky to the earth. You feel a sense of tranquility as you watch the water flow, its movement, a soothing and hypnotic influence. A bridge made of a single fallen cedar spans the brook its wood weathered and grey and covered in moss. You cross it carefully, feeling the slight vibration of the water beneath your feet as it rushes past. The cedar is strong and stable, a natural path provided by the forest for those who travel through its heart. You reach the other side and turn to look back at the silver thread of the brook in the moonlight. On the other side, the trees grow closer together, their branches interlocking to form a natural tunnel of green and brown. The light is dimmer here, the shadows deeper and more mysterious and more inviting. You feel a sense of wonder and curiosity as you move into the green cathedral, your footsteps silent on the moss. The tunnel is a sanctuary, a place of quiet and reflection, where the outside landscape feels far away. The ground is covered in a thick layer of pine needles, which muffle the noise of your footsteps entirely and completely. You move in silence, a phantom in the half-light of the evening, a part of the forest's quiet and secret life. The silence is a gift, a chance to listen to the thoughts of the forest and the whispers of the spirits. You feel a sense of peace and contentment as you move through the woods, your mind quiet and still. You find a small clearing where the trees have stepped back to reveal a patch of the starry sky above. The constellations are bright and clear, their light piercing through the dimness like diamonds on black velvet in the late hour. You lean against a smooth stone and gaze upward, feeling the broad and open scale of the heavens above you. It is a moment of awe and wonder, a reminder of the beauty and the mystery of the universe. The stars seem to pulse in time with the glowing runes of the Golem you left at the village gate. It is a connection that spans the distance between the work of hands and the magic of the natural region around you. You are a part of this connection, a witness to the harmony of the landscape and the quiet strength of the earth. You feel a sense of belonging, as if you are exactly where you are meant to be in this moment. The chill of the late hour is beginning to seep through the canopy, but you are warm and comfortable in your thick cloak. You feel a sense of security and protection, as if the grove is watching over you with a kind and benevolent eye. The spirits of the forest are nearby, their presence a comforting and steady influence in the shadows of the trees. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the peace of the grove fill your spirit. Shadows stretch and shift as the wind plays with the leaves high above your head in the canopy. They create intricate patterns on the ground that seem to tell a story of their own, a tale of time and growth and change. You watch the patterns, for a long time lost in the simple and profound beauty of the moment and the place. The movement of the shadows is slow and graceful. a dance of light and murk on the forest floor. As you move deeper into the heart of the grove, you feel a sense of anticipation for the wonders that await you in the stillness. The journey through the woods is a path of discovery and peace, a reminder of the magic that exists in the quiet moments of life. The light of the ferns is steady and guiding, leading you toward the sacred center of the forest and the rest that awaits. Your heart is light and your mind is calm as you continue your journey into the deep and storied grove, where the ancient stones of the central altar wait in the silver light. The stones of the central altar are tall and weathered, standing like silent sentinels in the clearing. Their faces are etched with age-old sigils that glow with a faint sapphire light in the dimness. You reach out and touch the cool exterior feeling, the hum of the earth beneath your fingertips. It is a slow and steady measure, a reminder of the deep magic that flows through this region. The moss that clings to the base is soft and damp, smelling of rain and old secrets. You trace the lines of the carvings with your thumb, following the loops and halls of a language long forgotten by the village folk. This is the heart of the binding, the source of the strength that animates the golem at the gate. The energy here is calm and focused, a pool of tranquility in the middle of the wild woods. You feel a sense of reverence for the craft that created this place and the guardian who protects your home. The sapphire light pulses in time, with your own breathing creating a bridge between the stone and the spirit. It is a connection that requires no words, only a quiet presence and a grateful heart. The atmosphere is thick with the scent of pine and the cold, metallic tang of the enchanted monoliths. Near the base of the largest stone, a small spring bubbles up from the ground, filling a shallow basin of carved granite. The water is crystal clear, reflecting the stars and the glowing runes in its still face. You cup your hands and take a sip, the liquid tasting of minerals and the deep chill of the mountain roots. It refreshes you, washing away the fatigue of the walk and clearing your mind for the meditation ahead. The murmur of the water is a gentle companion, a liquid lullaby in the stillness of the grove. You watch the ripples expand and fade, lost in the simple beauty of the moving light. Around the altar, the trees have grown in a perfect circle, their branches intertwining to form a living dome overhead. The leaves are silvered by the moonlight, shimmering like coins in the soft draft that moves through the canopy. You find a seat on a flat root that emerges from the soil like a wooden bench smoothed by centuries of visitors. The wood is warm, despite the evening chill holding the heat of the sun long after the day has faded. You rest your back against the trunk of a massive oak feeling, its sturdy presence behind you. The bark is rough and textured, a map of time and resilience against your shoulder blades. In the dimness you notice small white flowers blooming at the edge of the spring, their petals translucent in the magical glow. They are star lilies, which only open their hearts to the late hour and the touch of the moon. Their fragrance is delicate and sweet, a hint of honey and jasmine on the cool atmosphere. You lean forward to breathe, in the scent, feeling it fill your lungs and quiet your thoughts even further. The grove is a sanctuary, a place where the noise of the landscape falls away, leaving only the essence of the moment. You are a guest here, invited by the silence and the strength of the age-old stones. You think of the Golem, standing at the village entrance, its eyes fixed on the horizon, while you rest here. There is a symmetry to your roles. One guarding the physical boundary, the other tending to the spiritual center. The runes on the Golem's chest must be glowing now in harmony with the altar beside you. It is a web of protection woven with care and maintained through the quiet observation of the passing seasons. You feel a deep sense of security, knowing that the village is cradled between these 2 points of power. The stillness is absolute, a vacuum of peace that draws the tension from your weary limbs. A large moth with wings the color of hammered silver flutters down from the canopy, circling the glowing stone. It moves with a slow and graceful tempo, its path illuminated by the sapphire radiance of the sigils. You watch its flight, mesmerized by the delicate patterns it weaves in the half-light of the clearing. It rests for a moment on the face of the altar, its antennae twitching as if sensing the magic within the rock. Then it takes to the air, again disappearing into the shadows of the ferns, like a fading dream. The encounter is brief, but it leaves you with a feeling of wonder and a sense of the interconnected life here. The moon has climbed higher, now its light pouring through the gaps in the leaves, like molten silver onto the mossy floor. The patterns of light and murk shift slowly as the world turns, creating a kaleidoscope of grey and white at your feet. You watch a single beam of moonlight as it crawls across the granite basin of the spring, illuminating the pebbles at the bottom. Each stone is a different hue of ochre and slate, polished by the water over countless years. You reach down and pick one up, its weight comforting and solid in the palm of your hand. It is a piece of the mountain, a small token of the enduring strength of this place. You close your eyes and listen to the heartbeat of the forest, a low and resonant hum that vibrates in the soles of your feet. It is the sound of growth and decay, of the slow movement of water, and the deep breathing of the earth. You feel yourself sinking into the measure of the grove, your own pulse slowing to match the cadence of the stones. There is no hurry here, no deadlines to meet or tasks to complete, only the simple act of being. The shadows wrap around you, like a soft velvet cloak protecting you from the chill of the late hour. You are a part of the stillness, a living element in the tapestry of the night. After a long interval of reflection, you rise from your seat, your movements slow and deliberate, so as not to disturb the peace. You place the small pebble back into the spring, watching it sink to the bottom with a soft and muted splash. You offer a silent word of thanks to the altar and the spirits that dwell in this sacred clearing for the rest they have provided. The sapphire light seems to flare. For a second, a gentle acknowledgement of your presence and your departure. You turn away from the center and begin your journey back toward the village, moving with a new sense of clarity. The path is familiar now, guided by the faint luminescence of the mushrooms and the memory of the way. You pass through a tunnel of willow branches, their long trailing leaves brushing against your face like soft fingers. The air here is cooler and carries the scent of damp earth and the sharp fragrance of crushed mint underfoot. You move with a light step, your boots making only the faintest rustle on the carpet of fallen leaves. The forest is waking up in its own quiet way as the nocturnal creatures move through the undergrowth in search of food. You see the golden eyes of an owl watching you from a high branch, its silhouette sharp against the starry sky. It lets out a low hoot, a lonely and beautiful note that echoes through the trees. As you emerge from the deep woods, the landscape opens up, revealing the sprawling fields of the village in the distance. The lights of the houses are small and flickering like fallen stars nestled in the valley below. You can see the dark outline of the Golem, standing at the gate, its form a solid and reassuring presence against the horizon. The sight fills you with a sense of homecoming, a feeling of warmth that spreads through your chest despite the cold. You follow the stone path that winds down the hillside, the surface of the rocks worn smooth by generations of travelers. The descent is easy, and you find yourself drifting into a state of relaxed contemplation. The boundary of the village is marked by a low stone wall overgrown with ivy and wild roses, their thorns silvered by the moon. You walk along the perimeter, feeling the shift in the atmosphere as you enter the protected zone of the Golem's influence. The air feels stiller here, more secure, as if the magic of the altar has been distilled into a shield of quietude. You pass a small shrine by the side of the road where a single candle burns in a glass lantern, its flame steady and bright. It is a simple offering, a sign of the faith the people have in their silent guardian and the old ways. You pause for a moment to adjust your cloak, feeling the weighted fabric settle comfortably around your shoulders. A wooden bridge spans a narrow stream that marks the final approach to the village, its timbers creaking softly under your weight. The water below is dark and swift, carrying the reflections of the stars away into the shadows of the reeds. You stop in the middle of the bridge and look back at the mountain, where the sacred grove lies, hidden in the folds of the earth. It seems like another world now, a place of magic and mystery that exists just beyond the reach of the everyday. But you carry the peace of the grove with you, a quiet flame that burns in your spirit and lights your way home. The murmur of the stream is a constant and soothing companion, a reminder of the flow of time. The golem looms larger, now its massive form carved from the same granite as the altar in the heart of the forest. You can see the intricate details of its construction, the way the joints are fitted with precision, and the runes are etched with care. Its chest is broad, and its arms are powerful, a testament to the strength and the skill of the masters who built it. The sapphire light in its eyes is steady and watchful, a beacon of safety for all who live within the walls. You feel a sense of pride in your village and the heritage that has protected it for so many years. The path leads you directly to the gate where the guardian waits in the silver dimness. You reach the outer fence of the village where the wheat fields begin, their stalks swaying in the breeze like a golden sea. The scent of ripe grain and dry earth is rich and satisfying, a smell that speaks of harvest and home. You walk between the rows of wheat, feeling the rough texture of the husks against your hands as you pass. The fields are quiet now. The workers long since returned to their cottages for the late hour. Only the crickets remain, their rhythmic chirping, a steady pulse in the evening stillness. You take a deep breath, feeling the connection between the land and the people who tend it. The golem's shadow stretches across the path, a long and dark finger that points toward the heart of the village. You step into the shadow, feeling the sudden drop in temperature and the weight of the guardian's presence above you. It is a moment of transition, a crossing of the threshold from the wild world to the civilized one. You look up at the golem's face, seeing the weathered features and the moss that has begun to grow in the crevices of its stone skin. It is a part of the landscape now, as much as the trees or the hills, a permanent fixture in the life of the village. You feel a sense of gratitude for its tireless vigil and the peace it provides. The gate itself is made of heavy oak, reinforced with iron bands and carved with symbols of protection and welcome. It stands open, a sign of the safety that the Golem ensures for all who enter or leave this place. You pass through the opening, feeling the solid ground of the village lane beneath, your boots a familiar and comforting sensation. The houses are dark, their windows like closed eyes as the inhabitants sleep soundly in their beds. You move through the quiet streets, your footsteps echoing softly against the stone walls of the cottages. The air is warm and still holding, the lingering heat of the hearths and the scent of wood smoke. You reach your own door and pause for a moment to look back at the Golem standing tall against the starry sky. It is a silent protector, a guardian of dreams and a keeper of the peace in this small corner of the region. You feel a sense of completion, as if the journey to the grove and back has brought you a new understanding of your home. The runes on the gate catch the light of the moon, shimmering with a faint and magical glow that mirrors the altar's radiance. You press your hand against the wood of your door, feeling the strength and the warmth of the timber beneath your palm. The late hour has finally caught up with you, and you are ready to rest in the security of your own space. As you step inside, the quiet of the house wraps around you like a familiar embrace, and the soft glow of the dying embers in the hearth lights your way. Your mind is filled with the images of the glowing stones and the silent guardian at the gate as you prepare for the rest that awaits you. The latch clicks into place with a familiar metallic snap, sealing the evening chill outside. You lean your back against the solid wood of the door, taking a moment to let your eyes adjust to the interior dimness. The scent of cedar and dried lavender meets you, a fragrance that speaks of home and safety. Here the resonance of the wind is nothing but a distant sigh, muffled by the thick stone walls of your dwelling. You move toward the hearth, where the last of the logs has crumbled into a pile of glowing jewels. The warmth that remains is gentle, a soft radiance that brushes against your skin like a velvet cloth. With a small iron poker you stir the coals, watching as a few stray sparks dance upward into the chimney. They are like tiny terrestrial stars flickering for a heartbeat before vanishing into the soot. Your boots are the next things to go, the laces yielding easily to your tired fingers. You set them by the hearth, the leather still smelling of the damp earth and the crushed grass of the fields. The floorboards are cool beneath, your socks a pleasant contrast to the heat of the dying fire. Every step you take across the room is a deliberate motion, a slowing down of your internal clock. You reach for the ceramic pitcher on the table, the surface of the glazed clay feeling smooth and cold. The water pours with a clear tinkling note into a matching cup, filling it to the brim. You drink slowly, feeling the refreshment spread through your body, washing away the dust of the road. It is a simple pleasure, one that feels amplified by the stillness of the late hour. Through the small paned window, you can see the village, lane, bathed in the silver light of the moon. The shadows of the houses are long and sharp, stretching across, the cobblestones like sleeping giants. Far at the edge of your vision, the silhouette of the Golem remains a fixed point against the horizon. It stands, as it always has, a silent sentinel, guarding the dreams of those who sleep. You wonder if the Golem ever feels the passage of time, or if for it the centuries are but a single moment. Its existence is one of pure purpose, untroubled by the needs for food or rest. Yet there is a dignity in its posture, a sense of duty that transcends the mechanical nature of its creation. It is the heart of this place, the stone anchor that keeps the village safe. The atmosphere in the room is thick, with a sense of peace, a quietude that seems to emanate from the very walls. You move to the corner where your bed awaits, its blankets piled high and inviting. The wool is coarse but warm, a sturdy fabric that has seen many seasons of use. You pull back the top layer, revealing the linen sheets that smell of the sun and the open air. Before you lie down, you light a single candle, its flame a tiny golden spear in the murk. The light catches on the edges of the furniture, the wooden chest, the high-backed chair, the shelf of books. Each object is a familiar friend, a part of the story of your life in this quiet corner of this realm. You feel a profound sense of belonging, a connection to the objects and the space they inhabit. You sit on the edge of the bed, the mattress sighing softly under your weight. The village is so quiet now that you can hear the faint rustle of the leaves in the garden outside. It is a delicate noise, a whisper of the natural world that continues its work even as you prepare for sleep. The stars above are bright and numerous, a sprawling tapestry of light that spans the entire sky. You think of the grove you visited, the glowing stones and the energy that pulsed through the earth. That magic is still there out in the wild places, a hidden force that sustains the beauty of the landscape. But here in your home, the magic is different. It is the magic of the hearth, of the shared meal of the peaceful night. Both are necessary. Both are part of the balance that keeps this place whole. The golem at the gate is the bridge between these two worlds, a creature of stone and spirit that belongs to both. It is the protector of the domestic and the guardian of the wild, a link in the chain of existence. You feel a deep respect for the builders who crafted such a wonder, and for the magic that keeps it standing. It is a legacy of a time-worn era, a gift from the past to the present. You blow out the candle, the smoke curling upward in a thin grey ribbon before it vanishes. The room is plunged into a soft half-light, the moon providing enough radiance to see the outlines of things. You slide beneath the blankets, the weighted fabric pressing down on you with a comforting pressure. It feels as if the house itself is holding you, keeping you safe and warm. Your breath starts to slow the pace of your heart, matching the quiet pulse of the evening. The worries of the day fade away, replaced by a sense of calm and contentment. You are exactly where you need to be, in the heart of your home, under the watch of the silent guardian. The stillness is absolute, a blanket of silence that covers the village and the fields. In the distance, a nocturnal bird calls out a single clear note that echoes through the starlit hours. It is a reminder that life goes on even in the middle of the blackness, a constant cycle of waking and sleeping. You close your eyes, the image of the golem etched into your mind, its stone eyes looking out over the land. It is a comforting thought, a presence that ensures your dreams will be peaceful. The linen against your cheek is cool and crisp, a final sensory detail before you drift away. You can feel the muscles in your body relaxing, the tension melting into the mattress. The journey to the gate and back has been a long one, but it has brought you to this moment of perfect rest. The world outside is immense and full of wonders, but for now your entire reality is this warm bed. You listen to the silence, finding the subtle layers within it, the creak of the house, the sigh of the wind, the beat of your own heart. Each one is a part of the tapestry of the late hour, a thread in the fabric of the night. The golem stands firm, its runes glowing with a faint blue light that only the owls can see. It is the keeper of the gate, the watcher in the shadows, the friend of the weary. As you enter the first stages of sleep, the boundaries between the room and the dream begin to blur. You see the golden fields of wheat, the silver leaves of the grove, the weathered face of the stone guardian. They are all part of the same story, a narrative that you are a character in a life that is rich and full. The peace you feel is not just the absence of noise, but the presence of security. The village sleeps, the chimneys no longer smoking, the lanterns extinguished in the windows. Only the golem remains awake, its tireless vigil a constant in a changing world. It does not tire, it does not complain, it simply is. And because it is, you can let go of the world and find the rest you deserve. Your thoughts become like feathers drifting on a gentle breeze, rising and falling with your breath. The room is a sanctuary, a place where time has no power, and the only thing that matters is the present moment. You sink deeper into the softness of the pillows, the warmth of the blankets, wrapping you in a final embrace. The journey is over. The day is done, and the night is yours. Sleep comes like a slow tide, rising to meet you and carrying you away to the shores of dreams. You leave the physical world behind, stepping into the landscape of the mind where the golem still stands watch at the gate. It will be there when you wake, a silent promise of safety and a testament to the enduring magic of this place. For now there is only the quiet, the warmth, and the deep, unbroken slumber of the village under the stars. Thank you for resting here a while. Until next time on the Drowsy Dragon, sleep well.